kill it. I was meant to win. I am down and willing, so I will find a way. It took a minute, now it didn't happen right away. When it get hot in the kitchen, you decide to stay. That's how it winners made. Stick a fork in the hater on my dinner plate. I walk into the fire like it's just a bit of flame. I switch my style up, push the money pile up. I'ma get rich with life.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Clydesdale Media Podcast. My name is Scott Switch. I'm the Clydesdale. Happy 4th of July to you people in the States. To everybody else, happy Thursday. We are so honored and privileged to have with us one of the CrossFit OG legends, Emma McQuaid. Emma, what's going on?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So what's funny is you've been on the show one other time, and it was exactly 2 years ago tomorrow.
No way. That's awesome.
Yeah. And so when we first had that conversation, you had just built the home gym, or you were building the home gym?
Yeah, I think I was building. Yeah.
And it has become like the lore of legend of like the greatest home gym ever built.
Yeah, we put a lot of work into it, so I'm happy it turned out really well.
Yeah, I was doing research and I found Black Box did like a step as you were kind of creating the gym.
Yeah.
Little mini documentary of you kind of doing it. And then I'm going to pull up on Instagram a couple videos that kind of show off your gym. It has an outdoor piece and an indoor piece.
Yep. Yeah, the outdoor gym is like 3,200 square foot and the indoor gym is 3,300 square foot. Yeah, so pretty big space.
So this is a video on your Instagram.
Yeah.
Incredible. That's the outdoor.
Yeah.
Outdoor gym. So what came first, the outdoor or the indoor?
Yeah, so the outdoor gym actually came because of COVID. So whenever COVID happened in Ireland, they stipulated that you could train with people in an outdoor gym. So I was like straight on to my husband. I was like, we need an outdoor gym. I was like, I need to train with people. So that kind of happened very quickly. And then once we made the new gym, then we kind of extended the outdoor gym a little bit more just to kind of blend in with the new gym.
And then the indoor piece, I think this one highlights it pretty well.
Yeah.
My goodness, the space you have.
Yeah, it's good. Like obviously my husband owning like a structural engineering company, so he obviously designed the freestanding rig and stuff like that. So obviously we just sort of built the gym to have as much floor space as possible. So it was good that he was able to help bring the dream alive as well.
Yeah, I don't know if people can tell. Of course, it just went off of that, but you have a freestanding rig with pull-up bars and rings hanging from the center of the ceiling, and so it doesn't come down to the floor, giving you all this tremendous floor space.
Yeah, oh, it's so good. You know, you can have so many people working out at the same time, and everyone has all their own space, which is great. No worry about the rig.
And then on the one wall, you actually have like individual.
Yeah. So I made like five individual racks where like if there's 5 people squatting, each person has a male female bar and then one full stack of weights each.
And it also has like, it looks like you have like the plexiglass stuff on the wall for handstand push-ups.
Yeah. So again, in each of the five bays has the perspex, we call it plexiglass. Again, just to make it like no one likes to do handstand push-ups up against a brick wall, so just to make it nice and comfortable.
Yeah, it is awesome. And if you want to check it out in more detail, like go out to YouTube, look for Emma McQuaid Home Gym, and Black Box did this mini documentary. It's like 3 or 4 episodes. It's awesome, showing how you as you build it.
Yeah, it was good.
So it's what's crazy is I live in Columbus, Ohio, so I live where Rogue is.
Oh yeah, awesome.
And when you go to their showroom, that's what this looks like to me.
Yeah, well, I would if anyone knows me would agree. I'm pretty like particular about like the gym, so I like to keep it like really clean and tidy, and I kind of like every time someone goes into it, it should just look like a brand new gym, even like a year and a half on.
and it every picture I've seen of it, it is spotless clean.
Yeah.
And then you have like a little lounge area too to just kind of relax with like
Yep.
an L couch.
Yeah, we did like a little like chill out area. So like obviously your toilet, shower, kitchen area, just with like fridge, microwave, coffee machine. And then we obviously have the big 12-seater sofa for people just to come hang chill. So my family don't even come into my house anymore. When my mom and dad and my niece and nephew come down, everyone's like, "Oh, can we go out and play in the gym?" Well, my niece and nephew, not my mom and dad. Um, so yeah, it's quite a nice like social area as well.
Yeah. I've been talking to Ariel Lowen, and now she's building one, and she wants to be like you when she grows up.
Oh, I think I'm excited to see hers. I think hers is going to be called the Den. So I'm excited to see hers finished. It'll be awesome as well.
Yeah, on the outside, it looks very similar. Like the structure looks
Yeah,
very similar to yours. So I'm excited to see how it all turns out.
yeah,
I
that'll
think
be
I think
class.
they're taking a break from building during games training though.
Yeah, I think I'll get divorced if I decide to build anything else.
Yeah, it's awesome. And so when you train out there, are you alone most of the time? Do you have training partners that come out there a lot? Is it ever going to be an affiliate?
It is an affiliate.
Okay.
I have affiliated it, but it's just like a private affiliate, just so basically I could do the open, and obviously represent at the CrossFit Games, which is always been a dream to represent like my own gym. So that's pretty cool this year. But yeah, no, I have like I've pretty good groups. Like I still go to my original like Boundary Belfast, like the affiliate down there. I train with a few of the guys that's on like my online program. I train with them every Monday, and then I've got like a couple of people come out and train with me on a Tuesday, Wednesday, and a Friday. So yeah, it's quite nice. I usually have someone for one session a day. No one really wants to do the second or third session, but I don't blame them.
And is it really close to your house, or is it like on the? I know
Yep.
you have a lot of property too, right?
Yeah, like David's parents were very grateful and they give us very kind and give us like I think maybe we live on like 3 acres.
Okay,
So like the house is in the middle and literally my gym I could throw a stone and I'm there.
that's awesome. Do I remember right that Peter from Coffee Pods and Mods came out
Yeah.
to your gym during quarters?
Yeah. So he did a piece on my OCD.
Yeah, and it was really cool kind of seeing because I think quarterfinals is some of the best programmed portion of the season,
Yeah.
and most of the time we don't get to see it because it's done at home online.
Yeah.
So I love these little like documentaries that people are doing with athletes. You can kind of get to see those really cool events.
Oh yeah, like as soon as Peter messaged me, I think he messaged as soon as the dates come out, and he was like, "Can I come to yours for quarters?" I was like, "Always." I'm like, "That's awesome," because again, as you said, like people don't get to see the online stages because you know, yeah, you don't really have time. You can't set up like an extra camera for like a live because you have to make sure you have a camera, a spare camera, and a spare camera. So um yeah, and it just is that little bit more stressful, I find, like the online stages. So you don't even want people there just in case like you want to go at 1 o'clock but you don't feel good at 1 and then you end up going at 3.
Yeah.
So kind of
I
is. This year was works quite weird because we had like such a long time to do them. I think it nearly made it worse. I quite like having like a shorter space and it's just like, look, go get it done and get on with your weekend kind of thing.
yeah. Yeah. I I have conflicting views on the whole thing. For events, it has to be so well programmed
Yeah.
to be able to make sure because you're threading a needle from this big piece of yarn at the
Yeah.
quarterfinal level to 40 people in Europe. And that is like such a deep pool of athletes, and you only get to take 40. Like, if that's not programmed right, like you're gonna miss on some people.
Oh, for sure. But like, my biggest concern this year was that they were going to throw one RM in, or something stupid like double crossover or something that was going to affect, judging and counting and stuff. But like, hats off to like Castro and Balls. Like, the walls were great. The minus the step up is probably a wee bit like of a touchy subject. I think they were awesome. It definitely got the best people to the next stage. And they were so well rounded, which was great.
The last couple things on the home gym is I noticed a lot of purple accents. Was that intentional?
Yeah, so like purple, like growing up would be like would have been my favorite color. So we just kind of had like a couple of little like sprinkles of it in, but not kind of like overkill. So I wanted to keep everything really, really like just sort of like that dark gray and just like dark gray black. And then I came up with the idea. I was like, oh, the J hooks would be quite cool with that like metallic purple, and that would just be that small touch that would just set it off.
It looks awesome. I love the way that purple sends off, and purple is one of my favorite colors. I used to do a job where I signed contracts all day, and so
Yeah.
in order to make it look like it's a live signature, you can't use black ink,
Yes.
as it could look like it's copied. And so I would use a purple pen to sign all my contracts, so it was obvious it was a
Yeah.
real signature.
Brilliant. Love it.
And then with it being your space and you get to keep it as clean as you want it and everything in your place, what kind of comfort level does that give you every time you go in there?
Honestly, like it still doesn't even feel real that like I have my own gym. Like me and my husband, like I would do my programming in there on a Sunday, and like, I usually clean the whole gym every Saturday. So just like full deep clean. And like you walk in on a Sunday morning and it's just like, oh, I was like, I get so excited. I'm like, oh, it's still like brand new, isn't it? It just makes you proud.
Yeah, my gym just put in new flooring, got a bunch of new equipment. Man, it look there's nothing like the clean floor on a gym.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely sets it off for sure.
Yeah, it's great. So I want to get into a little bit of last year, which didn't end the way I'm guessing you wanted it to end at the games.
No.
And I heard rumor you were either sick or injured at the games last year.
I did 4 vertebrae in my neck.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, it was terrible.
So what I've had 12 back procedures, but never up in my neck.
Yeah.
What was that? What was that feeling like? You made it through the best you could.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so basically, we think it all kind of like came from the ruck ring muscle up event. So whenever I practiced the ruck event the very first time, I actually did okay, and I was like, here we go. Like, because I was a little bit nervous. Obviously, I don't do a lot of weighted muscle ups. So I was a little bit nervous. It went fine. I did well. I got through it all. I was like, okay, so we'll just refine this. And then the second time, the following week, I jumped up and I literally couldn't do one. I was like, what has happened in a week? There was nothing like I didn't hurt it. Well, not that I thought. And then we kind of every week leading in the semifinals, I got slightly worse. And I was like, what is going on? But like I wasn't in pain. Like there was no pain that said like you're injured. There just was something not right. So we powered on through, and then I think I did my week off after semifinals. Then the following week we were doing like a reintroduction to training. So we were like started some strongman and stuff. And I put the yoke on my back and literally everything shut down. Like I couldn't move, I couldn't walk, like I could hardly walk, I couldn't breathe. Like I literally couldn't lift my hands any further than like here. I was like, my husband was there, like my camera girl was there, and one of my friends were there, and they were like, what the hell has happened? So we kind of were in panic stations, obviously, because like I literally I couldn't drive for nearly 10 days. So like everything was just a little bit scary. I stupidly wouldn't get an MRI because I was like, it'll settle, it'll be fine. I got on the flight. I went over to Briggs's for the training camp. It was not fine, and I kind of just did what I could do. And then everything started to get better. I was back up to like over an 80 kilo snatch. I was up to 105 clean and jerk. I was back doing muscle ups. I was back doing everything. I was like, all right, fit me, we're good. And then obviously, as you kind of taper down, your volumes comes down, so the pain comes down. So I was like, started the competition in no pain. I was like, here we go, and got onto the bike event, and I literally had no legs, and I was like, I couldn't like push the pedals, and I was like, shit, maybe just first event nerves, like we'll ride that off, we'll go again. And then I can't remember what the next event was, but then we did wall balls and the pig flip. And literally the looking up from the wall balls, like completely whatever it did to the C4, the top of my neck, I started to lose all feeling in my left arm. So I was like, this isn't ideal. And then they announced the next event, which was freestanding handstand push-ups. So then I started to land on my neck. So that wasn't ideal either. And then I think then the final straw was the sandbag resting on my neck. So it was kind of like a series of let's get a McQuaid out of the games, because it was like wall balls, handstand push-ups, and then a 70 or 65 kilo sandbag compressing on my neck. So it was just kind of like the order of each event led into the next one that just made it worse, worse, worse. So yeah, after the sandbag event, I think Sam sort of seen my face and got me straight outside, because I had completely couldn't move my left arm. I had no power. I couldn't even have held my phone on my left hand. Like I was completely gone. I was starting to like trip, wasn't able to bring my feet back up again. So like I sort of like whatever was going on, I was sort of losing the signal. So went to the medic, checked me out. They were like, no, you're done. And sent me straight to Madison, Wisconsin hospital, got bloods, got CT scan. They were amazing. Like the medic team are like, I think hopefully no one needs to use them, but if you do need to use the medic team at the games, like they are incredible. Like they just made sure like there wasn't a pinched nerve. They did all the right things. As soon as I told my physio what they've done, they were like, wow, like that's awesome. Then obviously flew home, got an MRI, and then realized I had like a bone deformity on C4, and then I had like C4, 5, 6, and then down to T1 was all injured. So it's like still taking a bit of time to like get back into full training. Like I've only really got a yoke on my back 2 weeks ago for the first time from like the games, like from last year from the injury. So it's a full year nearly to get myself back to where I am now.
And that was just through rest, no surgery or anything?
No, we rested. So we rested right up until like sort of like September, October, and then we started to try our best to like intro training in, and that didn't really work. So it was nearly like December, and then we made the decision. I think it was the start of January. We went back to the surgeon and we were like, right, how can I get this season done? And he did 4 cortisone injections in the each side of the vertebrae, just to try and like settle. I had like mass inflammation at that point, so that's just was continuing to cause the pain. Because we'd done all like like the strengthening that we could do in the area, but the mass inflammation was stopping like me being able to fully lock out my arms and to be able to like press it to do a jerk or do whatever. So we got the 4 cortisone injections either side of the spine, and then like the pain started to ease, which then allowed me to help strengthen it even more and get back into training.
So as an athlete, when these things are happening, you said you didn't get an MRI. Is it because like it's easier to push through when you don't know what it is?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think if someone told me like I kind of like chipped a bone in my neck and I was going to be going into a competition with a chipped bone, I would be like, well, that's probably really stupid and I shouldn't do it. But if you aren't told you have a chip bone in your neck and you're going to do more damage, you're like, well, sure, I didn't know. So I just cracked on. Not a
Yeah.
good, like, don't recommend it. Don't do it. But, like, yeah, I did.
Well, and your very good friend Sam Briggs is very known for like pushing through pain. Is that something you two have in common?
She taught me well. I would say, like, from when I was a kid, like, obviously racing quad bikes and stuff. I was 16. I broke my wrist. I skateboard. I chipped my tailbone in the same day, and 2 weeks later, I was back racing my quad bike. I got my dad to cut my cast off. So, I was like, it's either you're cutting it off or I am. So he thought it was the responsible thing to do, and he did it. So, I'm yeah, I'm stubborn. I'm gonna keep going until something falls off.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like my mom probably would have taken the keys to the quad bike, so I couldn't have started it.
Yeah, there was no stopping me. I would have got my granda or someone to take me to the racing.
I
So
say that
he knows.
I say that, but I was a swimmer growing up, and I broke my thumb my sophomore year in high school, so 10th grade year, and they put a cast on it. I swam 3 meets with the cast on,
Brilliant.
and it probably ruined my stroke for the rest of my career. But
Yeah.
I was so stubborn. I was going to swim regardless.
Yeah, like it's kind of one of those things like if you qualify for the CrossFit Games, you're going to the CrossFit Games and you're going to give it everything you have. And, obviously it's so hard going out and knowing like, well, obviously every time I went out, I was like, gonna crush this one. Like, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. And my body was just like, no, you're not, but I went in with the mental attitude that I was gonna do well.
So you talk about the medical team, which I I started my CrossFit life in the sport as a volunteer.
Okay.
Those guys at the medical volunteers, I don't think people realize like what high-end doctors give up a week of
Oh,
their vacation to go just hang out at the CrossFit Games and help on the medical team.
yeah,
It is
it's
amazing.
incredible. Yeah, like hats off. Obviously, CrossFit have to organize all that as well. So hats off to them for making sure that obviously the athletes have the best possible like service of a team. Like the I don't know, I can't remember the guy that looked after me, but like he was so on the ball. Like he was texting me like the next day. He was like, "How are you? Can I come and see you?" Or come over to the Coliseum because they're in the Coliseum. Um, and like they have an X-ray backstage in the Coliseum as well, which is like what the frick? Like I never knew they had an X-ray machine that
Yeah.
over there. So like if someone like straight away, obviously they X-rayed, just to make sure. And like it was an eye-opening experience, obviously, to be able to say like we're in good hands if something goes wrong.
Yeah. And so you were medically withdrawn from the competition once, like
Yeah.
when things go numb, that's scary.
Yeah. It was getting scary for sure.
What so there's been a lot of talk over the last couple of years with Roman going back out on the floor with a broken foot and my gosh, Sam legendary going playing through so much pain. What are your thoughts about medical withdrawals? Do you think it should be left up to the athlete or should medical have the authority to pull you from the competition?
Um, at the end of the day, like obviously they're the professionals. I think like you're also an adult, so it's like a conversation is best had, and like as long as you're not going to damage yourself further for later life, it's sort of 50-50. If you're not, if like for me, like they were just like you can't feel your hand, like how are you meant to lift the barbell, etc., etc. So it's like the most like how could I have competed, kind of thing. But if I broke my finger and I'd be like, look here, I'll be fine. It's my finger kind of thing. I think it's just like the injury um will dictate whether the medical staff, they'll know when to withdraw you. But I think like with Roman, you know, it was an ankle. I think like Briggs has she competed one of the years that the regionals with it. Maybe it was like 2014 or 15 or something. She competed one of the years, and she had done the exact same bit that Roman had done before. So like it was significant at the time, but it wasn't like a long-term threat for him to continue.
Yeah. I've talked to Emily Rolfe a lot. We documented her case where she was pulled from medically, but she fought right up until the bitter end to get back out on the competition floor.
Yeah.
And when the color started coming back in her arm, she's like, see, I'm good. And finally they did an ultrasound, found out there was no blood flow. And they're like, no, you can't.
Yeah.
And
So again, it's a conversation.
Yeah.
I think like the conversations had like.
Uh-oh. Hopefully it's just her getting a call. And she'll be back here in a second. But yeah. Love that exit. There she is.
Sorry.
That's
I
okay.
think that's my car ready. Oh my God, where's the signal?
Been doing this long
I
enough.
can't hear you.
Uh-oh. So
Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
I've lost the. There's no sound.
So Emma, if you can you go out and come back in?
Damn it. Audio. Phone mic.
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Oh no.
Whatever's happened.
Oh no. All right. I sent you a message. Okay.
Oh, we're back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Sorry, they were ringing about my car.
Nah. I've done this enough. I know like when someone's on a phone, if a call comes in, it like takes you out of our view.
Okay.
So your screen just goes black for a second.
Yeah.
But I can see you and hear you. It just must have done something to your settings.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just ringing my car is in for service, so they're probably just telling me now it's ready.
Okay. So you have that disappointing year at the games. How much then what is the off season like? You want to get back to it, right? You want to kind of erase the memory of that year and get back to a new season. How tough is the off season after that occurs?
I think I really struggled quite a lot because there was so much uncertainty. There was no like, my physio was puzzled, my coach was puzzled. We've never really dealt with this kind of injury before. There was no protocol. It's not like say your shoulder. It's like, okay, we're gonna 6 weeks we'll be able to do this. Where I was just like waking up. I was like, can I move my head? Oh, today's a good day. Like, can I do my hair? Oh, that's a good day. So obviously it was like super stressful and annoying. Probably like my coach definitely earned his money this year. Because like we really had to speak nearly every day to every other day. And like I have to admit, training sucked because we couldn't really make changes to the program because we were trying to be like, okay, we can do this, and this. So then it was nearly like you added one exercise a week, just to make sure it wasn't this and this, So like my training was very, 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 very the same, very repetitive, very boring. And then we just tried to add, I'm like, okay, that didn't aggravate the neck, so we'll continue that for a week. We'll add something else in. That didn't annoy it, we'll add something else in, So it was just, it was crap, to be honest. Like it wasn't enjoyable. I've honestly had probably the worst 9 months of training of my life, but it's kind of one of those things that like it needed done. So yeah, off season it wasn't good, but I was very good this year. Usually I would just block myself off, go full dark, not speak to anyone, just be like, look, I can't train with you guys, so you just go and have fun. And but I was better at like trying to bring people in and even just do something with them, but I'm still doing my boring stuff. So I did rely a lot more on people this off season, obviously, to keep me sane.
That's a big step. I know that I still struggle with that, and I'm much older than you are, and I struggle when I'm in those dark places of like not feeling good or not being injured. It's hard to ask for help and hard to like be around people who are capable.
Yeah, it's being around people because like they're getting to do fun. I love going to an affiliate on a Saturday and doing like their class workout and just being a part of the community and throwing down, and not to be able to do that for nearly like 9 months was hard. So I just tried to make sure that I made the best out of my week. Like having, even if it was just like one cardio session with this group of friends and another cardio session with this group of friends, and then it didn't make Saturday feel as bad that I couldn't join in the community because I kind of got a little bit of it during the week.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That makes sense. So was there ever a part where like the open comes and you're like, please don't have this movement? Or were because you said earlier that there was some things you've just started doing a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, obviously, like we knew like the sandbag and the yoke and weighted muscle ups wasn't coming in the open, so there wasn't that stress. Kind of the next stress was I was hoping there was no 1RMs again because I kind of hadn't got my numbers back up yet. Um, I was very shocked that how bad the burpee over the dumbbell actually was for me, because a bar facing burpee, you can kind of like laterally step, and it put my spine in a different position. So I didn't realize I was weak. But the burpee over the dumbbell, where I had to go into like more of a hunch to get over that way, so it was more in a hunch position, was so weak for that part of my spine. So the first workout was actually very, very humbling and an eye opener to realize, huh, we're still really weak in that position. But again, I kind of think that it all kind of came at a nice stage. So I was able to be like, okay, so we need to address this weakness. We started to work on that there, building that strength in that hunch position, that mid back. The second workout, then I was like, right, okay, I have to express that I'm still fit, I'm still capable. So then that was actually quite a nice workout for me to then start to showcase like I'm still good enough to make the CrossFit Games again. And then that for me was like the momentum that I needed.
So when you're in the open, you only need to make top 25%, which you can probably do at 50% or 70% or whatever. But
Yeah,
but you're getting data back to whether it's going to be a good season or bad season.
yeah, for sure.
And
For
so
sure.
how much so week 1 you get data back that we got to get better here. Week 2 though, you explode and you start feeling better and get some confidence. Did confidence once week 2 happen keep growing over the season, or did you have other setbacks?
No, we didn't have any setbacks, thankfully. No, like, yeah, I think it was just that week on week, just kept building that confidence, but also trying to like, you're building confidence, but you're like don't get too far ahead of yourself, because obviously once you start like building confidence, sometimes you can like be like, I'm superhero, I can do everything again. So it was like still trying to hold yourself back. It's like we're only started legs, rope climbs, muscle ups, etc. Hands. I don't even think I've done a handstand push up. So I was just like, just calm down, do what you can do, and just keep building safely into the season.
So then you get to semifinals, and we've talked about it already. Europe is so deep,
Yeah.
so deep. Um, how much? I don't know how to. How much confidence do you have now in this deep field in Europe that you are going to make the games, or is it? Do you have to work your ass off to do it?
As soon as the workouts actually came out and I tested them all, I was just like, like I was like, yeah, we're going back to the CrossFit Games. You know, like I was just like really excited. They were all like pretty, like I wouldn't say there was any like home run workouts, but there was no like real big bottleneck workouts for me. So I was really excited until the Wednesday before, and I took a tummy bug, which wasn't good. So I actually ended up in bed for 18 hours sleeping on the Wednesday before semifinals.
Wow.
So yeah, but one of my lovely clients, I think, gave it to me because the week after, every single one of them were sick. So thanks to them, that nearly ruined my season. There's just an unfortunate bug that it's actually hit the whole of like Northern Ireland. Like people were going down left, right, and center. So it was like a really aggressive, like 48-hour tummy bug.
And you had a very consistent semifinal. Like
Yeah, it just was survival.
other than event 4, and it because you were sick, or have you not been inverted a lot? Because that was the row handstand walk, right?
Yeah, at that point I panicked because that's what I said to like my coach Joyce. I was like, I was so flat. Like the last meal I had was Tuesday night. And this was obviously Sunday. So like by Sunday, like I felt great, but I had nothing in me. Like I literally was living on Coca-Cola and Imodium for the 3 days. So like there was just nothing in my body. So like I actually was so flat on the Sunday morning. But thankfully we had like I think we had like maybe 2.5 hour gap. We went straight back to the hotel. I went straight to bed. And then I force fed like a bagel with like jam because I knew we had the snatch workout. So I was thinking I might fueling for the next workout for the final. So I like force fed bagel, jam, banana, and I think my sister went and got me like more like fruit. So like I actually had some solids in me then for the rest of the Sunday. Where yeah, the Sunday morning I was dead. No, I was yeah.
So with the snatch workout, was there any worry there with your neck, or have you been snatching before?
There was worry because I've only hit 80 kilo snatch once from last year's games training from I hurt my neck. So there was, but I thankfully the way Europe lanes were, my coach was actually able to be quite close because I was on the outer lane, and I told him to walk along the lane and just shout go when you want me to lift. And that's what I did. I just went complete zombie mode, like obviously just not usually like I don't need anyone because I'm like so focused, but I just was a bit like foggy. So I just literally shut off and I was like, all I have to do is snatch as soon as I hear go, go. And that's what I did. So I didn't even think, I didn't think about the weight. All I heard was go.
I'm so envious of the European semifinal because I think because there's so many different countries represented in one event, and
Yeah.
there's national pride
Yeah.
along with like your favorite CrossFitter. It gets so loud and so insane. I'd love to go to one someday. It
Oh,
just is so cool.
yeah, like this year, like I just remember being on the floor with Andrea Solsberg and the whole crowd like clapping, shouting for her to get that final snatch bar. I mean, it was mental. It was
Yeah.
so, so good. Like I haven't seen a semifinals with the atmosphere that we had this year.
When any French athlete took the floor, it was
Oh wow.
insane.
The drums going was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish we had that in the United States, but because we're all one country,
Yeah.
it's really just you're rooting for your favorite athlete.
Yeah. Yeah. It's different.
Yeah. It just doesn't have that same intensity. But so the last event, I don't I think Boz has been asked, like, did you test this, the length of that lunge? And he said no. Like they just
Okay.
but yet it was like the perfect length that some people were gonna make it, some people weren't, and it devastated some people.
Oh my God. Like that. it was just like you didn't know who was going to get in. It did leave it quite exciting, but it was also very scary for an athlete. You're like, am I going to make it?
Yeah. Yeah. Did you have a strategy to that? Because like when we're calm on the sidelines as media people, you're like, all they have to do is finish like top 15 and they're in. Just set the dumbbells down,
Yeah.
shake it out and go. And you're only costing yourself a couple seconds. But if you drop them and
Oh,
then have to
wow.
pick them up and take them back, that's like a 20-second
Yeah.
minimum.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I had a plan. I knew my bike pace. I knew I was going 10 and 5 on the rings, and yeah, I knew I was going unbroken on the lunge. Um, we did kind of think before I watched the previous heat, we were just like, forget, will we just take a risk and go for blow, go unbroken? And then I seen multiple athletes fail the lunge, and I was like, 10 and 5. We're not taking no risks. Don't need to be a superhero. Let's just get the job done. Because obviously, like it was a good workout for me in my gymnastics. Even though it's not as strong as what it was previous to the neck injury, it's still getting back to where it was. Week on week, we're getting stronger. So like I would have been fairly confident, I could have went unbroken, but then I was like, whoa, just that last section would have been getting burny. So I was like, there's no point taking a risk when I know I can finish this like, sub 4.
Yeah. Yeah. It was so much fun to watch, but my heart broke for some of the athletes that just, they went from a qualifying position to out.
Yeah. And
Dropping.
then some people went from like
Yeah.
a good bit out to like jumping in. Like that was the craziest bit.
Yeah. It was crazy. And Europe and North America both, they're so deep that like that can happen.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
it's crazy, but obviously it keeps it exciting as well. Right to the end, like it wasn't nothing was confirmed until till that final event. For most sort of people.
So I want to dive in. You're going back to the CrossFit Games. You've made it through the year. You're getting back to full strength again. How excited are you to go to the new venue in Texas?
Yeah, no, like I'm absolutely buzzing. I go out on the 24th, 25th of July now, out to Fort Worth. So I'll be out there, sort of like 2.5 weeks leading in. So yeah, I'm really excited to see the venue, see around it, like just get familiar with Texas. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Not looking forward to the heat, but like, yeah, it's gonna be the same for everyone.
Are you doing anything to try to acclimate to the heat?
Like I bought a sauna, so like I'm in the sauna every night. Like that's all I can do. Like we live in Northern Ireland. We've got like a freaking storm coming back in. It's cold again. We've got jumpers back on again. It's yeah. Unfortunately, living here where we've got more rain than we do sunshine. It's hard to prep.
Yeah, I heard Yella Hosta say in an interview, I think yesterday, he puts his bike erg in the sauna.
Yeah, my coach is on about doing that next week. So yeah, we're gonna give that a go.
Just to kind of, work out somewhat in a hot environment. Um,
It's gonna be horrible. But yeah, that's the plan. Next week we're gonna give that a go. So I've been in the sauna now every day for 2 weeks. Just trying to do like 20 minutes, and then next week for 2 weeks we'll try and do at least 10 minutes of like exercise in the sauna.
yeah, I think, have you scheduled your interview with Dave Castro yet?
No, not yet.
So have you watched any of them?
Yeah. I've been watching them. They're really good.
Yeah, I think he's leaking information in them, which is making them almost essential to watch. I think he said with Danny Spiegel yesterday that the full kind of overall picture of like inside outside will be released within the next week.
Okay. Yeah.
Which then will tell us like how much is truly out in the heat and how much is inside the arena.
Yeah.
And I think as an athlete, that's something I'd really want to know.
Yeah, like I think, it's more worrying for the athletes that don't live in America where they've got like, good weather. Obviously a lot of the Europeans do suffer like, with the heat stroke or, just being able to actually perform in the heat. So it would give you a wee bit more confidence, in your training that, like, okay, it's 3 events outside. All right. Like, if you need to, that's the 3 events where you kind of have to go, or just be a wee bit more careful, that you can't red line and potentially ruin the rest of your weekend or something.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. And I think the other big news he announced over the weekend was possibly a workout will be announced today.
Today?
Today.
Oh, no way. Oh, I didn't hear that. That's cool.
Yeah, I can't remember who's there's so many of them now. It's hard to remember which one was which, but what I heard is the last time they announced a workout on the 4th of July for here in America it was Murph.
Ah.
Now, I
Imagine
don't
Murph around that running track on the Friday night.
I can't see them doing Murph in that heat.
Yeah,
After what
it would.
happened in 2015 with
Yeah.
Annie and Cara and all of that, I can't see them doing that again.
Yeah, it would be hard, but like a swimming version of like Murph would be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool.
No, that might be on the cards. 800-meter swim, competition Murph from the side of the pool, 800-meter swim or 400-meter swim probably.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
So there's my prediction.
Yeah, I like it. I love swimming events. So it was also announced that Dave has primarily done the programming for this year.
Yep.
I think not primarily. He has done all of the programming for individuals this year. Boz is doing the teams.
Yeah.
So does that give you a playbook as to what you may see? Or
I kind of like, I think Ball's style, everyone agrees, very different to Dave's. Balls likes a lot more like party tricks kind of thing, is the only way I can describe it. Like, he likes more like the pirouettes and the pullovers and double crossovers and kind of all that stuff. And I kind of felt like it was nearly taken away from showcasing the athletes and versus like he was trying to nearly expose the athletes. But with Dave's all about the show, and Dave loves to showcase the athletes. And I think that definitely reflected the programming in the likes of the semifinals, because it was a show, and even like the quarterfinals and the open. So it makes me more excited to go back to the games, knowing that Dave is programming.
yeah, I think the programming has been very good this year. That quarterfinal workout with the clean and jerks, like
That was so good.
that's the one I wish we could see. Like that's one that like would be really fun to see side by side.
Oh, like it was so much fun. And like, I did that by myself in the gym. Like, I would love to be in the race doing that workout, like ascending the bar forward every 10 reps, like, wow, so good.
Yeah, it would have been awesome live.
Yeah.
I with everybody, like I'm sure you've seen it. Like Savon did the thing with the 4 athletes where they did quarterfinals live, every workout, and they got prize money for that, $5,000 to $1,000. And there's the Kill Taylor, and there's Reps Ahead now, and there's all these little shoot offs now coming where athletes can earn prize money and do like head to head competitions. Do you think that's the way the sport's going to grow going forward?
Like, it's definitely going to help the sport grow, because it's getting more exposure online. So it's getting an online presence that people can actually watch it and say like, oh, what is that Kill Taylor? And they go on and they talk about it, they do the workout, like anyone can ring in. That's so cool. It's not just for the elite athletes. So it's making it so that people can showcase their fitness. Maybe they don't know how good they are, and they're like, you know what, I'm gonna ring into that show one day, and then they get like the urge to start competing or sign up for the open, or whatever. I think the more CrossFit's out there, the more people's talking about the sport, more people's getting involved in the sport, the bigger it's gonna be.
Yeah, I think anytime where we can like package it smaller to show people that don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Like when you look at the semifinals or games, it's a long weekend, and to get someone to invest in 3 or 4 days who have never seen it before is hard.
Yeah.
Where Kill Taylor, it's an hour on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Go check it out. Right.
Yeah.
Or Reps Ahead was done in an hour and a half with 5 events.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I think, like that's more like what people want now, because, no one really has the time or the money to be away from work for 3 days.
Right.
If they're a working person, which 98% of the world is, so it's like to go and say, oh, I'm going to do a competition. It's 3 days. You're like, 3 days? Like, I have to take a Friday off work and potentially a Monday. Like financially, it's not really possible for most people. So it's like, oh, I'll go and do something else.
Yeah. Kevin Doyle says, let's go, Wee Beast.
Thank you.
And I think it's a way for people to start to know not just the top 10 athletes, but the rest of the field, right? To get these opportunities to call into Kill Taylor or to do a Reps Ahead and do a head to head with a games athlete. I think that's pretty cool. And it gives them the exposure that they wouldn't get otherwise.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Like it's so good. Obviously watching Savon obviously put on that quarterfinals, like that was brilliant, because I had it on the big TV in the gym, in between our workouts and stuff. So like I just think stuff like that's awesome. The more we can get the sport out there, the better.
Would you ever do that?
Like go
Quarterfinal?
on to one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously it's just crap because obviously I'm here, so the the availability to go and do that, it's going to be so much easier for like the Americans, to travel to do that. But if they ever came like Europe side, like, and did something like that, like I would be all for it.
And it could even be done like Rogue did back in
Yeah.
COVID, right? Like everybody just has a camera in their gym and there's like a split screen of 4 people going.
Yeah.
You know?
Because that worked so well, as like Rogue did a fantastic job of that.
Yeah. I actually was a judge during Rogue
Oh
and
no
I was
way.
with Saxon Panchek. And the production behind that,
Oh, it was
they were
insane.
so freaking good.
Yeah, like it was so good to watch. Like they definitely put on a show.
Yeah. Like every judge had an earpiece in
Oh no
with the
way.
head judge, like being able to whisper in your ear saying, hey, watch this or watch that. Or it
That's
was like
amazing.
phenomenal.
Yeah, that's so good. Rogue are just like another level,
They
another level up on everyone else. To be fair, now.
Yeah, it was. The reason I asked if you'd be willing is Carolyn Prevost does a show with me on Sunday nights.
Okay.
And she's like that women, that she didn't think women would be as inclined to do quarterfinals, that they like to keep their scores closer to the vest than men do.
Yeah, like I don't really think that's the case. I would say like I would talk to a lot of the girls, and like a lot would share scores, and probably a lot more like probably Americans and the Canadians I'd speak with during quarterfinals. I would say probably the Europe may hold their cards a bit closer to their chest, but again, it's just because Europe's so freaking stacked.
Yeah.
You can't really give a point away.
Yeah, I'd love to do something with quarterfinals next year. I'm just trying to figure out how to do it. Like, could we do it Rogue style or could we do it, not have to make people travel yet and still get to do their workouts at their home gym?
Yeah, definitely. No, that's it's something could be really cool.
Yeah. Well, to finish up, you're heading back to Texas. Or heading to the games in Texas? What is your goal this year? And is it results based or is it just how you want to perform?
Yeah, no, for me, it's literally just going and like bringing it back to like that first year. Just go have fun, soak it all up. Like actually walking out onto the floor again. Like hearing the crowd and just be there and enjoy it. And I think the results will take care of themselves when I'm having fun. So I'm not putting pressure on myself. I don't care. I genuinely, like, it sounds so bad, but in a way, I don't care if I finish like first place or 40th place. I've made my goal for the year of making it back to the games. So I want to go now and just perform, and people to be like, that's a happy McQuaid back out on that floor again. Because last year I wasn't happy because I was in pain.
the arena's double the size of Madison. They have a cool jumbotron that has screens inside and outside. So if you're
Wow.
like under it, you can look up inside and see the screens as well. Like was built in 2019, I think.
Yeah, it's just fairly state of the art.
Yeah, like yeah. Heather Lawrence told me it's basically plug and play. They pull up a truck, plug in a cord, and they're good to go.
Amazing. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Like I'm so excited. Like all the little tasters, the Friday night venue, like oh, it just gives you goosebumps.
Do you have any ideas of what that Friday night thing is?
I think what would be really cool would be like a running strongman medley. So it's like you get to use like the running track, but then you also get to use the football field. So it's like maybe like a yoke carry 1 lap run, a farmer's carry 1 lap run. It could be like farmer's handles, whatever, a pig flip. You know, like you have to do a strongman medley, but you have to be fit.
Yeah. Wow, I like that idea. I volunteered at the games and worked out the outdoor park when Strongman Sphere was done with the
Yeah.
yoke and the big Viking
Yeah,
things
they're so cool.
and the sled. And that was a blast to watch. And if you had a run in between that, because they were handstand walks between.
Handstand walks as well. So it's like take the handstand walk and make our lungs bleed.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard someone say a repeat of the 2010 double Helen
Yeah,
pyramid.
yeah,
It
something
was
like that
actually
could be
done
cool
on
as
a
well.
track. It was done on a track, and they put pull-up bars out,
Oh, yeah.
and then it was instead of kettlebells, it was like dumbbells or shoulder to overhead or something like
Okay.
that.
Yeah, something like that'd be cool. It'd be cool to incorporate the running track, you know, because it is the exact distance, you know, where obviously
Yeah,
you're like, you know, sometimes it's like 400, oh, it's actually a 350, you know, or 420, you know, so you can't cheat a running track.
yeah, and we haven't been on a running track since 2010.
Yeah, that like, it'd be so cool.
Yeah, and it's right there. So, well, this has been a blast, Emma, as always. Let's not make it 2 years before we chat again.
Yeah,
But it's cool that we did it 2 years to almost to the day of
perfect.
your first time on. But it's been awesome. Thank you to everybody in the chat for being here. And with that, we will see everybody next time on Clydesdale Media Podcast. Bye, guys.